Hey guys, thanks for coming out today. Obviously we're sitting here at
2-10
and not where we want to be. Nobody's happy about it. Ownership, Dave's, me, coaches, people in the building, the fans, and I understand that. What we're going to do the rest of the week is, do self-evaluation on the roster, personnel, and try to find solutions as we move forward. These last
5
games. So that's what we'll focus on this week. The guys came in, had a good day of practice today, lifted, had meetings, and we'll start circling up with the coaches tomorrow and the rest of the week, and see how we can look to turn the ship as we go forward the rest of the season.
Well, hello there. It's been a little bit. I think since the last time I did a video, we've had the Buccaneers game, and we've had the Cowboys game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I did a video after the Bucks game. I don't really remember. But yeah. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Mine certainly wasn't ruined. It was fine. Good to hang with the folks, but certainly would have been better if my football team wasn't a complete dumpster fire and a complete another joke. And some of the most disappointing, played some of the most disappointing football I've seen in my entire life watching the Giants, which admittedly isn't that long compared to some of the lifers out there, but still. And I get told, I see a lot of comments, and I get told by older players about how, the Dave Brown days and the 70s and things like that, where the Giants went through similar dark times. And so I'm not here to refute that. Obviously, you have those memories, and God bless you. But those days that you're mentioning, these are my days right now. The fact that in 3 years under this new regime with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, that the fact that we've gone from 9 wins to 6 wins and then to 2 wins, no longer have Saquon Barkley, no longer have Daniel Jones, no longer have Leonard Williams or Xavier McKinney, and we get it. The rebuild. There's one thing I do agree with Joe Schoen. The rebuild is painful. It's something you have to go through. For a while, this team was basically teetering back and forth between, I think this team can do something next year, and then we end up doing worse. This current regime isn't the first time this has happened. I should have put up the records of the Giants for the last few years, but we've had sort of a pattern of going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was really tough for Dave Gettleman as a GM, and it was tough for Joe Schoen as a GM to really see, is this team truly ready, to take that step forward. We have a good season, then we have a worse season. We have a promising season, then we have an even worse season. If there's any promise, well, it seems like we're going in only one direction now, but not the direction we want. If I haven't made my points clear before, I'll make them now. I definitely would prefer a new head coach. I am completely out on Daboll. I don't think he is who he was touted to be, aka the QB whisperer, the offensive guru. I don't think any of those are necessarily true. And while he did have, some brief success with Josh Allen, you can see in his record that he has been far from that in every other instance of him being an OC, and in this case, a head coach. It just hasn't worked out for the dude, and I don't hate him. I just don't think he's a proper coach. Certainly not a head coach, and might not even be a good OC either. So he needs to go. I say we bring in Mike Vrabel and go from there. But Joe Schoen, I can completely understand why you would want him gone. He's made some mistakes. Let's just call it what it is. Signing Daniel Jones to that contract, when you probably could have just not even panicked and, did something else. I mean, because let's be honest, maybe while some of us, and I'll be completely forthright and honest, I was one of those people that thought, okay, Daniel Jones, 9 wins. He wasn't the best, but I didn't expect him to be a top quarterback. I knew he wasn't a top quarterback, but I thought he'd be good enough for us to maybe hit the playoffs again. And if we just give him a better line and a better weapons, here we go. Obviously, 2023 didn't work out for a lot, injuries, and just the fact that Daniel Jones wasn't as good as I thought he would have been, and a lot of us thought he may have became. Is that attributed more to him or more to the coaching, Brian Daboll, and his offense and his play calling and his management of the team? Is that more to blame? I don't really know, but it doesn't really matter now because, like I said, Daniel Jones is off the team. But yeah, Joe Schoen, I'm still hanging out on a ledge for the dude, but honestly, if he doesn't come out and fire Brian Daboll, he has to go with him, because the prevailing narrative is that they are a package deal. He came, and so Brian Daboll had to come with him to the team. But I don't think that necessarily means you have to be a package deal. If you see, as the GM, since you're technically the one that hired him, if you see that he's not doing a proper job, fire him. I know it's your buddy. I know it maybe feel like you're backstabbing him, but that's your job as a GM. Your job is to make some of the most scummiest decisions possible. And that's kind of my biggest gripe with Joe Schoen, is that we could have started this rebuild 2 years earlier, but just like us fans, you thought a little too emotional, and you thought that 9-win season was something. And I don't completely blame you for it, but hindsight is what it is. And the correct decision was to trade. If Saquon was not going to sign the contracts you offered him that year, you trade him. You trade him after that, or better yet, trade him at the deadline. You definitely should have traded him at the deadline, because you had an excuse. This team was going nowhere. You could have just traded him at the deadline and started this whole thing earlier. And even before Daniel Jones, you could have, not signed to the contract, maybe franchise Jones, and maybe trade Saquon earlier. You would have pissed off the whole fan base, and there's no way you could have feasible. Like, let's be honest, if we were in that situation, 9 wins, winning a playoff game, and we decide to trade away Saquon and franchise tag Daniel Jones, have 2023 be what it was, it would have been bad, like it was. It would have been worse because there would have been no Saquon. Then they would have said, well, you gutted the team when we had the chance right there. You gutted the team, Shane, so why should you keep your job? So that's why I don't want to really fire Shane, because I feel like either way, even if that was the right decision, we would not have known, because 2023, if he had gotten rid of Saquon, or even McKinney, or whoever was on the radar for him to trade away, and never signed Jones and franchise tagged him, we would have thought you were the most evil dude in the world. And we would have completely blamed you for 2023 being what it was, not knowing that it really was because of the coaching and all the other stuff that happened, and the fact that Jones really wasn't that good. But we wouldn't have known that. We would have blamed everything on Shane. But because he did what he did, he gave Jones a fair shot. And I know a lot of fans are thinking, well, that was a dumb move. You should have never did that. Think about where you were at the time. Think about where their mindset was at the time. That playoff win set us back, and there's no other way to see it. So that's why I don't completely blame Shane. But if you look at the first 2 drafts, if you look at, the decision to give Jones that contract, and the fact that we have $47 million in dead cap going towards Jones, and $22 million the next year after we had released him about some weeks back. Well, it looks bad, but I don't completely kill him. My thing is that Joe Schoen should definitely look at the coaching position seriously. I think there's no question. You came in here as the offensive coordinator, talking about Brian Daboll. You came in here as the OC. You came in here with the I don't know if it was an official decree, but the idea was that you could fix, because you fixed Allen, quote unquote, that you could fix Jones. And even if you didn't, then we'd be able to move on. But we never thought the offense would look this bad, no matter who was in there. The offenses looked terrible, awful. And although Jones isn't the best quarterback, like, how do we go from 9 wins one year to 2 wins this year with the dude? Like, it just doesn't make sense with a on paper better O-line and on paper better receiver core. Maybe the defense took a little step back from going from Wink to Shane Bowen, but still, like, we still led the league in sacks for the first half of the season, so it's not like we were the worst defense in the world. I don't know. So, like I said, I'm willing to keep Shane around only if he fires Daboll. But Daboll, I'm completely done with. I don't care what he does from here on out because I know he won't be anything. Daboll needs to go. Too much of this team wanting to quit and all this negativity and all this crap going on. The fact that he couldn't get along with Wink or Wink couldn't get along with him or whatever, just that's stupid. Like, it'll be nice if we had our DC here for the second year. That way we can really develop Deonte Banks, who is taking a massive step back in the new scheme, and we don't even know what's going to happen with him. It's just, the whole situation, like, why not just get along with the dude and just iron out the problems, Why not? But no. So now the defense, for all intents and purposes, is taking a step back any way you want to see it. So I put that let's put that squarely on the shoulders of the head coach, who, in my opinion, has ran all his time here. So that's all I'll say. But other than that, this team not like I came in this video with notes. Like, what else is there to say about this team? This team stinks. I'm having the worst season I've ever had as a Giants fan. I keep hearing Eagles fans all day, thank you, Giants, thank you, Giants, thank you, Giants, while they're basically poised to make the Super Bowl at this rate. Like, it's disgusting. It's sickening, and this is terrible. How can we come out after the bye and get blown up by the Buccaneers like that? And then to come next week, on a short week, admittedly, but still going against the Cowboys, who pretty much at this point has been one of the worst teams in the league, and they make short work of you. You make dumb mistakes, and Rico Daboll has his career freaking night on this lack of run defense that's going on right now. And now on top of that, Theo Johnson's out for the rest of the season with a foot injury. Dexter Lawrence is out for the rest of the season with an elbow injury, both on IR. Their seasons are over. I mean, this season was over weeks ago, and on top of all of that, we were the first team in this league to be officially eliminated from playoff contention. So I have no idea why Daboll still has his job. I don't. And like I said, if Shane doesn't want to just pay attention to the intro, pay attention to the outro of this video. Shane knows it. And if Shane doesn't want to do his job, he has to go too. Listen, man, you have to do your job. Don't wait for Mary to do it, because if Mary does it, all of y'all gone. You have to do your job, Shane. Get out in front of it, get rid of the problem, and figure this thing out. Bring in a better coach, bring in a better OC, and let that start fresh. I believe in your draft, and the last draft was great. We have a young secondary, although our secondary is arguably our worst part of our team. We've seen the plays from Newman. We've seen the plays from Andrew Phillips. I don't know what happened to Deonte Banks, but hopefully he comes back. I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure they can grow. I'm sure they can get better. I know this is a lot of copium, but it's all I have left. I like the rookie class that came out. I mean, Tyrone Tracy Jr., phenomenal. Malik Neighbors, phenomenal. I know he's dropping the ball a few times, and hopefully that doesn't continue. Hopefully we can get his mind refocused to being that stud that he was. I know he's going through a very tough time, but hopefully we can get a coaching staff that can keep him motivated and not let him go off like he's going. Like, let's just get back focused, man. We're a crap team, but the rebuild doesn't just start next year. The rebuild starts now. The plan, the goal of this rebuild was to have Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones off the team, because we already seen it for many years. It didn't work out. Maybe we could have gotten some pieces around them to make it better, but it just wasn't going to work out. In my opinion, Daniel Jones, for whatever reason, just not a starting NFL quarterback, at least not with us. Saquon Barkley never had the line to do what he's doing right now with the Eagles. So they had to go. They had to go, and we had to start all the way from fresh. And that is a good idea. We extended Andrew Thomas, who keeps getting hurt, and that's a whole nother issue we need to address in another video. And Dexter Lawrence got extended. Those are our 2 corner pieces. Dave Gettleman picks, but at least he's smart enough to extend them. So there you go. We got our cornerstones right there on both sides. Now we just gotta build from there. They're both in the trenches. Let's build the rest of the trenches. Shane, next draft, build the rest of the trenches. Maybe get a cornerback, because we, like I said, Banks, I don't know. But we definitely need an opposite cornerback. And we go from there, man. We draft our quarterback, and we can really get this rebuild going. So I would keep Shane. Definitely get rid of Daboll. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's been a tough season. Giants fans, just I don't know. Buckle up and don't jump off that roof. We are. I mean, I don't even know what to say. We are in for it for sure. So, that being said, win or lose, go Big Blue, and fire Brian Daboll.
How would you evaluate Brian right now? Brian Daboll.
Yeah, again, we're
2-10.
So
put this team together. It's your roster. When you look at it from what you thought you were going into the season to now, do you look down at this personnel and say, this team is not good enough, I didn't put a good enough, I didn't give the coaches enough?
no, I don't think so. I don't think so, Paul.
So why, if the players aren't good enough, then it's got to be the coaching?
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, it's pretty well documented, but it's like a roller coaster, and I'd like to say it won't be a roller coaster, but it probably will be again.